Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Checkerboard Podcast. I'm here with our two co-hosts and a lovely special guest. So we got co-hosts, and by the way, notice how I said co-hosts because we got a new co-host with us now. We got Liam here,
What is up, guys?
and not only do we have Liam, our new addition to the cast, we got Gunnar. Gunner's the new permanent host.
What's going on, guys?
But
Sick to be here.
we got a very special guest today. We've got Minimaru himself, Deet, on the line here.
Hello.
And we've got
Excited to discuss.
we've got a bunch of questions written down for him. And if you want to even ask us questions at any point, feel free to as well. Like we can just it doesn't have to be all about you. We can do whatever. But
Okay.
anyway, do you want to start off with anything, Liam?
Yeah, I want to get the most easy, what I think is going to be the most easy question out of the way, and that I'm just genuinely curious about. What is your favorite anime?
It's got to be One Piece.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I respect it. I knew that was the answer, like kind of coming from how much One Piece merch there is, which we all love, by the way.
Dude, too
But
true.
yeah, I kind of figured that, but I was just genuinely curious. Had to get the dumb question out of the way first.
It's
But-
definitely One Piece. So many great episodes. It took about a year to actually watch all the way through, but it was worth it. Worth every episode.
Hell yeah, man! I was a manga enjoyer. I've always kind of been a reader, but I respect the anime watchers too. You guys go through a lot of flashbacks. You guys are like war heroes, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, more importantly, what I think is probably a cooler question is I'm curious as to what the meaning and like reasoning behind Minimaru is. Like, why that name in particular?
So it all started about 2.5 years ago now. Back when I was like 14, I just started getting big into anime. And I was just scrolling on TikTok. I remember the night, it was the day of Halloween in 2020. And I was just bored out of my mind. And I didn't know how to tell my friends, like, hey, I like anime. Of course, I knew they liked anime, of course they did. But it was sort of like something new for me that I was sort of like so nervous about. And I didn't know exactly, I guess, how to express my like love for anime. And so I was like, why are there not any like clothing brands or just hoodies or merchandise out there that's like really minimalistic, that's not over the top? Just like how you go on Amazon, you look up anime shirt, you'll find a shirt that says like eat, sleep, and watch anime, like all these cringy designs that nobody I know, and myself included, would probably want to wear. And so Minimaru really just came from that idea of making minimal anime designs that can really only be understood by other anime fans and noticed like out in the wild. And Minimaru itself, actually, the word Minimaru means minimal. So if you translate it, it's minimal clothing, just based around animes.
Oh shit.
I like that.
That's actually
That's
so
sick.
cool. Dude,
That's sick.
okay, listen. I know that like I'm probably the only one in here that's probably like watched it or played it, but like for a second there, like I don't know if you've played Danganronpa at all or like are familiar with it
Heard
at all.
about it.
But there's in the second game, there's this fucking character, and there's like a rendition of him, and it's literally called like Minimaru. And so
Yeah,
like
I've seen that. When I was researching names and stuff, I was like, Minimaru, that's a good name. And then I look it up, I'm like, oh, it's some like thing. It's like another character, but I was like, screw it. It sounds nice.
I really
So
like
I
the
went with
name
it.
though. It is very clean.
Yeah, I kind of like the little like I call that Oda level writing right there, man. That's some epic foreshadowing. But-
Thank you.
Damn.
But yeah, that's cool. So what was your first ever like merchandise that you ever created?
First design I made was if we're talking about like first product I released, it was one that was like a 2x2 Luffy's hat, like on a white t-shirt and a black t-shirt. As far as the first like ever design I made like embroidered, it was probably just like some explanation point design, just something basic to get introduced. Because I used to do all the embroidery, like when I first started my brand, that was like a big thing. Like I did all of it by hand.
Oh wow.
Damn.
That's a
Yeah.
I have a father, my father-in-law, who he like embroiders ties and stuff like that, and that takes him like hours. So that's just ties. So I'm sure that was a
That's commitment.
very Do you have any like
Yeah.
newer equipment? Like how have you ever like what was the
Well,
progress from now until like where you're at now? Because I'm guessing you
for
don't
sure,
do
for
it by
sure.
hand anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I can't do it in by hand anymore because I'd be spending more time actually just creating like one product again and again when I can spend my time making like newer, more innovative designs. But it took about a month of just like trial and error to kind of figure out like, okay, maybe I shouldn't make the designs myself. Maybe I should like, hand that off to someone who's been doing it for like decades and like way better at it than I am in terms of embroidery. Uh, but as far as like in the beginning, I think I spent like 24 hours straight one time just making like designs and
Damn, bro.
hoodies and stuff. It was like the first
Dang.
week. And it was a lot of fun, but at the same time, I had a messed up sleep schedule and I was in school and all this other stuff that played into it. Um, but that was just on the weekend. It was like a weekend thing when I first started the brand.
That's that's pretty cool though, like that progression, bro. Wow.
I was gonna ask you that. Like, how many people are like actually like part of your team? Would you say? Because like I feel like I saw a tweet or like something that you have like you have people that like go out and deliver it. Like I don't know if that's like just your friends or what it was, but
So as far as my team's kind of changed over, and it's hard to really say. I mean, I definitely would say team, but it's like off and on. It's not like when I think of team, I think of people who are like every single day striving and working. But it's mainly just kind of like an off and on thing. Like obviously, I'm in high school or I just graduated recently. Uh, but when I first started Minimaru, it was with me and one of my friends that was helping, and it was nothing crazy in the beginning. I didn't really know what I like how to start a clothing brand, what it took. All I had was like years of Photoshop experience, and I just had no idea how to embroider. So I learned, and over time it grew from just I guess from me and my friend to four of my friends. Sometimes it would be like six of my friends, and just other people I knew. Like I've met a lot of really cool people in high school just from asking if they want to make money on the weekend. Helping me grow the brand. But the most like biggest team I've had, you could say it was probably like six of my friends working with me at once. But it's sort of like I said, like an off and on thing. Because I like I'm the one making the designs, I'm the one organizing, doing all the overhead, and it's sort of it is definitely a team effort when it comes to like shipping orders. As far as doing that by myself, it's very, very difficult, and it can take a lot longer than with more than one person.
dang, all right, that's crazy though. Like you pretty much like mostly do like most of that stuff yourself.
Yeah, and it's a little stressful, but it's worth it because like there's really no one else I know that would know how to like run a brand like Minimaru, like or put it in the projection that I wanted to, because it's like I wouldn't I wouldn't trust another person with sort of the designs and stuff. It's sort of like something really special to me that I put a lot of thought into.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. So how I had found out about you, like as your company was growing and stuff, there's
Mhm.
this TikTok group called the Anime Men that they do like these little skits, like One Piece skits,
Mhm.
and one of them was wearing the Ace crew neck, and then like after and like in the comments and stuff like that, like they were saying, oh, this is from Minimaru. Did you have any idea that those people were kind of advertising you? Like, have you contacted other like have you worked with like any kind of like social media presence to advertise your brand before?
So I'd say out of all the people that have like promoted Minimaru, I'd say it's like half and half. Sometimes I get videos of people just wearing my merch, and I have literally like I've never talked to this person, I've never seen them, and it's a really cool thing just to see like a random video of someone wearing your merch. But I have definitely worked with influencers. I probably worked with maybe around 10 or 15 in total, like in the last few years. And the Anime Men were one of the first few influencers that I started working with. Really cool guys. The owners really chill, or the guy that runs the Instagram.
Yeah, they seem like a pretty fun crowd. A lot of their skits are really funny too, and I mean,
Mhm.
obviously it worked out pretty well for you. But who would you say that did you have like any groups out of it that were like particularly like outstanding? Like anyone that you were like these guys were like awesome to work with.
Honestly, I had a great experience with the Anime Men. Some other influencers. There was this one guy's name. is Luz Campos. He hasn't posted in a while, but he used to do like a ton of really cool anime related videos. There's like educational and stuff. As far as like new influencers, I haven't worked with a ton of new influencers recently, but I'd say the anime men definitely stuck out because they would make some pretty interesting content with the merchandise that I wouldn't see anybody else do. So
Awesome. Anybody, Default, Gunnar, you guys got any questions you want to raise? I got a couple, but I don't want to hog the.
I got one for you here. All right, so I took a look on like your catalog and like I'm not gonna lie, like this stuff looks high quality, bro. Like right off
thank
the
you,
bat,
man.
it a lot.
Did he cut out for you guys?
Oh,
Oops,
oh, sorry. What happened?
did
No,
my mic mess up? My fault.
Oh
On-
no, it's good. It's good.
on my end it kind of messed up. I don't know the rest of you guys, but
Gotcha. Well, I'll just repeat the question. So, like, there's a lot of sick designs, but I want to know what is your personal favorite design that you've ever created,
Honestly,
like
my
released or
personal favorite.
unreleased.
Unreleased or unreleased. I'm gonna have to go with the Ace crew neck because it's just
For
like
sure.
it's probably the coolest thing I've made, and it's like really minimal, but at the same time, it's not. And it's a lot of other people's favorite designs, and I can see why. I mean, it's just it's minimal, but it's not. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's a cool piece. I like it.
For sure, for sure.
I was gonna say that's my favorite as well, at least until that Gear 5 hoodie drops.
dude, same. I mean, well, dude, the one that I'm probably gonna buy, like probably like after the podcast or something, is like, dude, the fucking what is it, the wall one? I really love the wall one. I think that one's so
Thank you,
cool.
man.
That is the one I
Yeah.
really want to get next.
Yeah, Laws was such a unique character. It's like the design potential. Like I've made, there's tons of designs that I've never released or even got made into a sample, just because it's like so many. I have a lot of designs, right? But there's even more designs that I've made that I've just scrapped. That I just like and like this isn't good enough. Like I need to make something better. So I'm really like particular, and especially with Law, I had like so many designs, but the Law design's another one of my favorite. And also, speaking of Gear 5 hoodie, I'm actually wearing it right now.
Are you for
Oh,
real?
let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to get my hands on that. That one's so fucking clean.
Oh, thank you, man.
Of the rejected projects that you've made, are there any in particular that you would ever like give a chance at a redemption?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's this one like Pushita design I made a while back, and I have there has been a design that I scrapped, and I came back to it a year later, and that's actually a Chainsaw Man design that I'm releasing really soon.
Ooh.
Like
Awesome.
I designed it like a year ago, but then I was like, nah, it's okay. And then I came back, revisited it the next year, and I was like, okay, actually, it's pretty good. Like, I can add a couple things to it, make it really, really clean.
That's a solid choice. Definitely, I would definitely say it's a good time. It seems like Chainsaw Man is just kind of growing and growing as an anime. Like it's definitely gonna be one of those ones in a couple of years. It's gonna be like just it's already ridiculously popular. But I've seen a couple of the designs you've dropped so far, so I'm excited about that because Chainsaw Man's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is it the Pochita one? Is that the one that you're kind of talking about?
Yeah, a while back I had made a Pushita design, but I wanted to make something I guess a little more minimal, nothing like crazy, like too big. So I revisited it, reworked the design, and now I have like a T-shirt design that I took photos of recently. Actually, I think I may have posted it a few days ago on the Twitter, or actually no, that was on a few days ago on the Twitter.
Yeah, that was the it was like a cream shirt with like he was like reading a book.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was a sick one. I liked that one. Are there any upcoming projects that you have in the future that you're like excessively excited about, like that you have a lot of like a personal attachment to?
Gosh, I mean, of course we all know Demon Slayer's new season is coming out this year.
Ooh.
So I am
yeah.
kind of tempted to make some designs for the Swordsmith arc, but at the same time, there's like so many other there's, gosh, what else is coming out this year? Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 that's coming out.
Right.
What else?
Attack on
AOT.
Titan.
Yeah, final part. Like there's so many good animes.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I don't know if there's any enjoyers in chat, but solo leveling getting
Yeah.
its anime is gonna be pretty hyped
Oh
too.
wait, is it for real getting its anime?
Yeah, that's one I've read it. I've been reading it for a while. It's really good. Anybody who's like a gamer, I'd recommend that one too, because it's literally just Gamer the anime.
Hmm.
I'll have to consider watching that one or reading it. I know my
Yeah, I
friend's
mean,
reading it for a while.
I have another pretty weird question. Is there so when you're working with your like sweatshirts, t-shirts, whichever like products you're making, is there like a preferred clothing brand that you kind of go to
So
when?
I'll drop like a really good gem. I used to work with a blank hoodie, and they also have shirts. It's called Blank Nights. It's sourced all from like New Jersey. Great quality. Although sometimes I did have like a few issues, like more towards the, I guess last year I had a few issues with them, just because like products, sometimes wouldn't ship on the exact date, or sometimes like one of them would be missing. But other than that, like great quality. I used them for a long time. Like a lot of my old designs that you see like when you scroll all the way down on my Instagram, like those are all from them. As far as like blank hoodies go, but recently, I've gotten bigger into my own like custom sewn and like knit hoodies, or
Mm.
not knit hoodies because it's not knit, but custom sewn and private manufactured like hoodies that you can't really go and like go and find online. So it adds more like exclusivity. It's also really cool because you can get like the custom tag in the back, and I think that adds
Oh
like a lot
yeah,
more
Oh,
value
dude, I
for
did
sure.
like
for
that.
sure, for sure.
Yeah, I noticed that before because again, I have a couple I have a couple shirts that are older, and so it is kind of it's a little funny seeing like like I have one that's like has like a Gildan sticker, one has a Hanes, and then one has your tag. So that was just something that kind of intrigued me a little bit. But I
Mm-hmm.
definitely do like the Minimaru tag. It's
Yeah, when
I
it,
have I have a
mhm.
thing for tags that like aren't like itchy, and that one is not one that like
Mhm.
makes me want to rip off the sweatshirt.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. When I first started the brand, I was using like Gildan the first week, and then I quickly realized like maybe I should up the quality, and so I switched to Hanes, and I think I used Hanes for a couple months, and then I switched again. It's always like trial and error, trying to get the next best quality.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I actually, it's kind of funny though, because like I wore the, I mean, I've just cut off all like the Gildan and Hanes tags on them, but yeah, it
Mhm.
was the, like the Gojo shirt, like the original like Gojo
Oh
shirt that you
wow,
dropped a
yeah,
while ago.
I
Yeah,
remember that
so
design.
yeah, that's another really good one. Another question that I have is I know that through the past couple months, like years, you've kind of always redropped old designs. Is there any older design in particular that you're kind of besides the Ace crew neck, obviously, that you're kind of thinking like, hey, it might be about time to give this one like a fresh start, bring it back in?
Mhm. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of designs that like people on the daily they ask me like when are you gonna redrop this? Honestly, a design that I am tempted to redrop in like some new sizes is the Cowboy Bebop, this
Mm.
spike design I did a while back. Other than that, I mean, a lot of my old designs I prefer making new designs, but of course, if tons of people are like begging me, like, please redrop this design somewhere, like with the Ace crew neck, it's sort of like, of course, gotta give the customers what they want, honestly. But personally, I would love to redrop the Cowboy Bebop design, so I think it looks so clean.
I like that one. I think it looks really cool. Oh, like the text on the side that says "C space." That's so cool.
Yeah.
And uh,
Oh, sorry.
I
Go
did.
ahead.
No, you're good. I guess another one I just thought about is maybe the devil fruit rugs I released a while back. I'd love to redrop those. I think those are probably one of the coolest things I've done too.
Yeah, I thought the rugs were exceptionally cool, like, cause like I've seen the rug making TikToks. That shit does not look easy, bro.
It's
It's so.
yeah. At first, yeah, for sure.
I also love the idea of if you have like a man cave or something like that, of someone just opening up the door, like walking into the room, and there's just Killer Queen waiting there.
Yeah. Yeah, rugs are really cool. I've seen people like get really creative. They hang them on like their ceiling or they hang it on the wall. like all these crazy locations. Obviously, in my opinion, I think they should just stay on the floor. But some people they get crazy. They put it on the wall. Why not?
I do really like them though. Those are pretty cool. I'm gonna say, what was one of my other? Okay, I have a question that's gonna kind of stray away from anime, but like, besides like anime merch, would you ever see yourself making stuff for like regular TV shows or even like gaming stuff? Like, or are you mainly gonna stick with like anime?
That's a good question. I mean, I recently have thought about maybe working with, it was how can I remember? What? Okay. So I recently got maybe the opportunity to do an official collab with Sonic, like the actual Sonic franchise.
Dude, no
What?
fucking
And
way.
I've been
That's
thinking about it,
wild.
but at the same time, it's like it strays away a lot away from like anime. And so I haven't really put a lot of thought into it more than that, just like maybe. But I definitely think it would be cool to do some like video game franchises and make designs for those franchises. That would be dope. But Sonic was one that it's something I'm thinking about, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That
because
would
like
be really sick.
after you said earlier about like how it's kind of like you mainly are going for like anime merch, I was like, I don't know, maybe you probably wouldn't, but like now that you say about that, that's like actually fucking crazy, dude. Like,
I mean, to be fair, Sonic basically is just a blue hedgehog version of Goku.
True.
Dude can literally go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that's true. I could see the similarities.
that would be really.
How does a like an offer like that even like kind of happen? Do you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you?
It can be half and half. So there's these events every single year called like license expos, where it's basically a bunch of either agencies or businesses get together in like one giant room. Usually it's in Las Vegas or it's in California, and it's held in these like giant convention centers, and it's just like all like networking and giving business cards to other businesses, and just randomly is like this one company, they own the rights to some like Warner Brothers stuff and other things, and Sonic was on the list, and I was like, I was like, maybe I should reach out to them, maybe not, because I got a business card, and they were asking if I was interested. So I'm still thinking about it. It's just like it's sort of I wouldn't say risky, but it's a little unknown for me because I specialize heavily in anime, and it's like I know 99% of my fans, they would obviously prefer more anime designs. But then again, maybe cool to branch out. I don't know.
I think it'd be a pretty cool, like, change in like direction. But I mean, at the same time, like, I know some people don't really want to like stray away from like their main thing. Like for you, like it's anime. So, but like at the same time, I think Sonic could be so fucking cool, especially like with your designs. I can definitely see that going pretty hard, to be honest.
Yeah, may have to. I'll I might do something. Maybe might make some mock-ups. See if I like it. Get some thoughts.
For sure. Damn, bro. Anyway, I guess this is kind of this next question I have is kind of in that direction. So like, what's like your next step for growing as a brand? You know what I mean? Because if we're
That's a
talking
good
about like
question.
maybe in the future, like working with more franchises or like different like bigger groups, you know what I'm saying? So what's like
Yeah,
your
I
next
mean,
step?
I would say really my next step right now, I'm focusing heavily on just making the shipping process as quick as possible and making just the customer's experience like as easy and just super understandable. Because sometimes I have like there's always room to improve. But if we're talking like big like macro goals, like probably a year, 2 years, maybe 5 years from now, I definitely would love to work with a lot more like franchises.
Oh yeah,
Sort
for
of
sure.
broaden out from just anime and try other things, because there's a lot like clothing you can do a lot with for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's
Damn, bro.
also it's nice getting like seeing a lot of these companies like working on like these like more customized and like also embroidered stuff, because even like I think you can kind of notice that there's like a trend with other clothing companies like Primitive or Hot Topic and stuff. Like they're trying to make this like their own designs be not like just character title of anime and
Mhm.
like just really cringy stuff like that. But one of the bigger problems is that a lot of the times they have to work with like a pool of images, like that they have to use. Like if you look at like Primitive and Hot Topic, they have like the exact same Itachi shirt, but like one's gray, one's black, and it's like the exact same image.
Yeah.
But one says Primitive and one says like the Akatsuki on it or something like that. So it's definitely also really cool to see like people, you know, kind of take more of a creative spin on their own products. But what would you say is your biggest inspiration, like when you're making a design? But I mean, I know that you're talking a lot about being minimalistic, but like is there like like a a process, like a kind of a method behind like how exactly you decide like what is within my like what I'm giving to people, like what is my interpretation of minimalistic?
Yeah, for sure. So usually on my process starts with either getting up like early in the morning or it's just like super late in the day, and I'm like, it always starts with some big motivation, and I get a really cool idea for either a character or a show, and I turn on my drawing tablet. I just start going on Google. I start just consuming as much as I can, like browsing like hundreds of images and really picturing like, okay, who is this character, and whether it's a show I've seen or not. Usually, like 99% of the time, it is, because that way I can use the creativity to my like the fullest. I really just look at tons of different. Sometimes I even just go on Netflix and pull up the show, or go on YouTube and just really dive deep into, okay, who, like, what would be ideal for this character to describe? Like, what is it, an object that describes this character? Is it a symbol? And really figure out like what's going on here. And after I get a really good idea of the character, like for example, like with the Ace crew neck, what ended up happening was I think I just finished like Marineford or something like that, like probably a couple weeks before that, and I was just like, why is there not any good like Ace designs out there? So I even rewatched a couple episodes of Marineford, and I was like, okay, like the two symbols, like his necklace, like his hat, like perfect. Like put the front design, then on the sleeve, I was like, okay, tattoo like that, it's sort of minimal, and I sort of get in a flow where time just slips by, like when you're playing a video game almost, and time just like goes by like 6 hours later sometimes, and next thing you know, I have like a finished mock-up. Usually, what I do when I have a design that I'm like happy with, and it's like, okay, this is good. Like I think I want to make this into like a sample, and then see what people think. I usually send it to a few like close friends who have usually seen that anime, and I sent it to one of my friends, and he's like, "Holy shit! Like this is dope! Like you got to release this." And sometimes, it's not all positive. Like sometimes I made some pretty bad designs that I'm just like, "Yeah, this is good," and then I send it to a few friends, and they're like, it's all right." Sometimes I go with it, sometimes I don't. But I always I always make sure to get feedback, because sometimes it's really hard for me to decide whether something is minimalistic or not minimalistic, and that's why I always just like go to different people, like a variety of people, and asking for feedback. Is sort of my flow.
Yeah, I gotta say I really kind of respected when I noticed a really similar thing when you had originally posted the Gear 5 hoodie, and you were just totally willing to like kind of workshop it again and take it back. So I think that speaks a lot to like, you know, who, like what you like to represent as a brand as well, and that you're kind of willing to change that. So I think that's a great thing.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember that. I remember when you posted it with like the straw hat in the back, and dude, me and Liam literally had like the same exact like thought process. We're like, yo, I think literally like putting the Gomo Gomo no Mi would literally be so. I think not that the the straw hat looked like that bad, but like I think like the fruit would look like even more dope. And dude, turns
Yeah.
out it even does. That shit looks so good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times, like I said, I'll post something, I'll think it's great, and then I'll get like a majority of the feedback, think a different thing. It's all like the key is you don't want to think you're always right, or think you don't want to be full of confidence when you run like a clothing brand, because it really comes down to like, okay, what do you enjoy? But what the most part is like, what do your customers enjoy? What are the people that actually support your brand and make it possible? Like making something that they really like too is important.
Yeah, no, because like I like that, and I really like the Frankie one that you're working on now. It looks like that one.
Oh yeah, that one is. I'm so hyped. I actually little funny story. I'll go on like a little tangent, but I got the sample for it a couple days ago, and I spent 3 days thinking of like how can I make this better, because it's like this crew neck. It's I've never done a Frankie design, so it's like I want to make sure I do it right. And after thinking about it for a few days, I finally found a few things that I could like little improvements by it. So for example, like when Frankie does his like signature pose with the star like on his arm,
Yeah,
I noticed when I tried to do it with like the crew neck, it didn't quite like look right, and it just like wasn't perfect. It didn't align perfectly. So I sent back to the manufacturer, like got a couple like things changed, and now I'm finally getting like a little bit of a revamp, and I'm super excited to drop some like product
Super.
photos and stuff. And now like hopefully, assuming that my changes are correct, like the changes to the design, the star should be like perfect. Or when you do the pose, you can actually like have the star,
that's
and
so
I'm
fucking
super
sick.
excited.
Oh, dude, you better believe that you're gonna be seeing the day that comes out, and I get that. You better believe you're gonna be seeing me doing that pose on
I
Twitter.
can't wait.
Oh my
And
god.
Dude, your Twitter's gonna be lambasted with that. Just all these people yelling super.
yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I can't tell you how many like I don't even think I've seen a Frankie shirt anywhere. So like
exactly.
that's just sick. I've seen Brooke. I've seen like pretty much everybody. This is a. I mean, I'm happy about this, but I've seen a lot of like Robin stuff around recently too, which again I'm happy with. But like, it's like, dude, where's the love for my boy Frankie?
Yeah.
Could you or sorry, let me reword that. Who could you see like yourself doing next, like out of like the Straw Hats, or like it's not something you're like really thinking about considering you're working on like the Frankie one, like
Usopp. For
Oh,
sure.
that's what I was about
Usopp's
to
the next
ask.
one.
Yes, that's my go. I love Usopp.
I have a design. It's not complete, but it's like slowly getting worked on every day.
Oh, dude, I
I've made
really.
a lot of changes to it too. Usopp's hard, man. It's like he has so many like I want to incorporate something with his weapon, but at the same time, it's like, do I want to do time skip? Do I want to do pre-time skip? There's like a lot of little details that come into it.
What about that funny guy like Sniper King? You know, what about that guy?
Oh yeah, that guy might be cool.
Like I don't know, he'd be
Come-
kind of cool.
I find it very weird that you brought that up. I don't know what Sniper King has anything to do with Usopp. Those are like
Yeah,
two
right?
completely different
just so
characters and
random.
designs.
Yeah, my
It's
bad.
so random.
My bad. Man, dude, I'm so excited for these like new designs. I really like all the ones that you're like teasing right now. I think they all look really cool.
Thank you, man. If you don't, I know you said earlier I could ask some questions. I was gonna ask, what got you guys into like podcasting or just interviewing other people? I think it's super dope.
Well, oh, go ahead, Alex.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Doesn't matter. You can go ahead first. It's your channel, man.
All right. Well, for me, I've been listening to a lot of like podcasts, like especially like. See, the thing is, I started this podcast probably like around like I want to say like maybe 2020 or something like that. So the original debut of it was literally just me talking, and I would get like a guest on every single week, right? But it didn't last. Like I did one with Liam. I did one with like one of my other friends from school. I think I did one with my like editor Sean at some point. But like eventually, like I didn't really keep track of it, and I kind of it just kind of ended, right? But like recently, I worked like a overnight job, and so like before I watched One Piece, I pretty much was just like listening to podcasts every single night, and I would hear these like I'd watch like Moist Critical's podcast. I would listen to the Misfits podcast. I listened to a One Piece podcast like after I did watch it, of course. And so I was like, you know what? I think I kind of want to reignite like the podcast. Like I'm like really like because I like interviewing people. I like listening to what like what gets them inspired to do like the things they like. And so I kind of was just like I think it'd be pretty sick to get this back up. Maybe get a co-host in here, and then like we could try to make it a weekly thing. And so I first invited Liam because like I was like we could talk about like anime and shit. We could talk about like Dead by Daylight because that's one of like the main games me and him play. Well, I guess maybe not him as much anymore, but and then Gunner's been like a long time friend to me, so I was like I think getting Gunnar in here would be pretty sick too. And so now it's just like the three of us, and the last few weeks we just kind of been covering like Breaking Bad because this is like my first time watching it, and so we're just kind of like going through that. But like honestly, it's mainly just kind of like trying to get to know people like. And like I think interviewing is fun, especially when you have like unique questions. Because like I'll admit, my questions this podcast haven't been like the greatest, but Liam is like goated when it comes to these questions. And I mean, Gunnar's questions are also really good too. But like, I think it's really interesting like learning about like how people like, what got them into what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word. So podcasting isn't really anything that I too particularly like. I don't like, wake up every day before we started this being like, I want to do a podcast. I genuinely just enjoy like content creation, but even more so than that, I'm a insanely analytical person. I mean, you can talk to literally anybody that I know, and I could go on a rant about like the depth behind like literally anything. Like I remember I had a conversation with a friend. I don't know if you've seen One Piece Red yet, but I've had a conversation with a friend about like how I find it very interesting how Yuda's hairpiece in the back, like her little ribbon, goes up and down based on her emotion. And so like I like digging into things. I like, understanding things. And so I just feel naturally inclined, like, like kind of inclined to do podcast work because I like asking questions and I like figuring out, why people do what they do, if they like doing it. It just kind of, it's something that I've always had like a huge inclination to do. And I also love anime. I'm right there with you, dude. I was so ashamed to tell people that my favorite thing in the world was Dragon Ball Z growing up. And like, I was homeschooled. I got made fun of by fellow homeschoolers. That's like rock bottom, dude. That's bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's bad, dude. Like, they're like, you watch Dragon Ball. We all watch Hallmark movies. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm
Hallmark
not kidding
movies
you.
is crazy. I'm not even
Dude,
gonna lie.
They loved that shit. It was crazy, dude. Like, and I'm like, okay, just because it's people screaming and punching each other, I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball is better than that shit, man. I don't know. And then, although I was also a bit of a defiant young man, I was like a Dragon Ball like freaking only loser. And then I watched JoJo, and then I'm like, oh shit, maybe there is better out there. And then I watched One Piece, and then I watched it. Just I was like, okay, it's only worse from here. It's all.
Damn, bro.
But yeah, no. So, this community is just like it's something that I've been in since I was like 14 or 13. So that's like almost like 10 years now. And I never really had a lot of people to like kind of talk to about this stuff. And that was the same thing. Like I was always thinking to myself, dude, anime merch sucks. And so like when I heard about the opportunity to interview you, I'm like, dude, I've been following this guy for a while, and like I love his shit. So it's cool to have you here. Like
Dude,
I've
it
been a
seriously
pretty long
is.
time supporter. So
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And I think that's really cool because I have had in the past, like, people have asked me, oh, do you want to do a podcast? But it's like, it's always been people that are just like cold emailing, like they don't actually really know much about like the business, you know? And I noticed your email. I was like, man, this guy's like legit. Like this would be really cool opportunity, you know? Especially because like really, like if I'm gonna go on a podcast, I'd hope the other person would know something about anime. For sure.
but I find it
Yeah.
I find it funny that somebody tried to invite you and did not know
Yeah.
like the soul behind your company. That
What?
Yeah,
That's wild,
I don't
bro.
know. It was like when I first started out, and I had some videos doing well on TikTok. They're like, yeah, let's have you on the podcast, and I knew this guy had no idea about like anime in general, and so I was just like, I think I'll pass, man. I'm good.
you hop
Smart,
on. His
bro.
first question is, so I heard you make clothing about cartoons.
I
I'm
can
a,
imagine.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. I got something going on, man. I gotta head out.
no, for real.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
That's crazy. I mean, like I said, I really appreciate you hopping on here because like I said, I feel kind of bad I didn't get to like follow up to you when I was the one that kind of like emailed you first. But like, I'm really glad
That's
like
good.
Liam, reached out to you and like kind of like followed up on it for me. So
And man, I'm a fire secretary.
Yep.
But yeah,
Shit.
But any other, I guess, kind of general questions? I mean, down to answer whatever.
uh,
I could maybe talk a little. Gosh, probably like one of the most stressful months. Would that be an interesting topic?
oh,
Maybe.
dude, I'm down to listen to
Oh
anything
yeah.
you gotta
Cool
say,
story,
dude.
bro.
So,
Mhm.
we all know about like the Ace crew neck, right?
Yeah.
It sort of like blew up out of nowhere. Like I went from having like a couple people interested in getting the crew neck and like like interested in my products to like tons of videos like blowing up on TikTok. And I would keep in mind I was like about to go to my finals. Like I was trying to study and stuff. And it was stressful. It was November, like how that first semester's wrapping up. And I was in my junior year, and it was like I recorded a few videos. They blew up, and I had no idea what to do. But you know what? You know what I did? I just was like, okay, I got to figure it out. So I started planning more of the drop, and then I planned the drop in November. I also ended up having to hire one of my friends to respond to emails because at one point I was spending like 2 hours a day, like just replying to like just uh, just anybody asking questions about products or asking about their order or any details like that. And it was a lot of work, but it definitely taught me a lot with like running a clothing brand at such like a scale. Right now, obviously, I respond to all the emails. I'm doing a lot of the work right now, but it's like during that time, it was like a whole nother level. And it led to a lot of growth with Minimaru, but it also I had to sacrifice a lot of time. It's like imagine being in school every single day to like sort of having to skip having to skip class to go work on your brand. Of course, I mean I would do that any day. Like I did that even before November. I would do that. I've never really been like I guess a big fan of school, honestly. um, but that month was like insane. That was very stressful, but it was crazy.
I'm sure it's nice that like now that you're kind of out and you're like you can
Yeah,
dedicate
I'm
everything
very
to this.
grateful. Hmm.
So how did this is kind of like a question of topics that I wasn't too sure about talking about, but I'm a little curious. So I also generally followed you during like the Pine Bear
Hmm.
moments and stuff like that, and I'm curious to know because I also did love a lot of those designs. But what like what's like uh what was the I'm trying to think of the right way to word this
Like
here.
the idea behind it, like
Yeah,
what caused it. Yeah, so
yeah.
that's a great question. So I'm not gonna lie, last year was a little, I wouldn't say rough, but it was a little confusing for me. And the reason why was because, I'm in my senior year of high school. It's like I just got one semester because I graduated early. And I had the decision whether to do online school or I can go back in person. And during that time, I was just kind of like, okay, I can either do online school and focus more on Minimaru and like growing the business and stuff, or I can go in person, meet some of my friends that I haven't seen in a while, just kind of get back, like enjoy my last senior year. You only get one of those, that kind of thing. And I decided to go in person. And as soon as I started going back to school, going from having that summer to grow Minimaru to just not having barely any time because just finishing like senior, getting those exams done. I sort of kind of realized that I need to like I got to just step away from the brand a little bit. And with Pineapple, the idea of Pineapple really came from just sort of starting something new, something that I didn't think like a ton of people would like, but I wanted to just do something fresh so that way I could just like when I graduate I could go full force into it. But Pineapple really just started because I wanted to make something that was like not really based on anime, but something like my own original character, my own original like ideas and things. And that was my mindset during that time. So I decided to switch Minimaru to Pineapple, and then as soon as I graduated high school, I was like, I was given so much free time, and sort of that brain fog that was like clouding my thoughts and everything went away. And I was like, okay, like why did I why did I want to create my own character? Well, of course it was to, have the recognition or something like that, or make it feel like people support me for what I do. And I didn't realize that, making anime designs, like that thing that I'm doing, it's not just like, oh yeah, anime designs. It's like I'm putting my own signature touch on these crew necks, on these garments. and that kind of thing. And I just quickly realized like that was what I was more passionate about, rather than creating like my own whole like new original everything new. Because at the end of the day, I caught myself like spending more time watching anime than spending time working on like new characters of mine, like my own stuff. So,
Actually, I appreciate it. I mean, that I loved the design of the Pineapple. I thought it was really cute. I think that a Pineapple X Chopper hoodie could definitely potentially
Yeah,
go hard.
Ooh,
that's the
bro.
thing. I'm taking like, of course, I still have a lot of those designs from Pineapple, but I'm taking a sort of a different approach a little bit. I'd love to revisit it. I'd say maybe next year and get really big into sort of trying to grow Pineapple again. But instead of treating it sort of like as a clothing brand, I'd love to treat it as sort of maybe just like crazy ideas I've had is turn it into like, I wouldn't say not a franchise, but sort of a like a restaurant experience, like selling boba and selling like ramen and other sorts like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I've quickly realized, I've spent my entire life learning tons about technology. I've been using Photoshop since like elementary school, and I know so
Dang.
much about creating designs. But when it comes to creating food, running an actual like cooking food, and having a retail experience like that, I have no idea. So it's something that I would really need to invest a lot of time and money into. But it's just an idea that I have, is to turn Pineapple into like call it like Pineapple Cafe, you know,
That
uh,
would be cool.
selling like merchandise there, selling food, really just creating a good experience. And there'd be like anime playing in the corner or something. Who knows? I don't
Where
know.
are you? Where are you based? You said
No, that's
East
a good
Coast.
question. Yeah, East Coast, South Carolina, actually.
Damn. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
But I'd love to. I mean, South Carolina. You think of South Carolina, it's just like, oh, all these Southern people, and it's kind of true. But there's a few cool people out here. But
Hell yeah.
I'd love to, since I've graduated high school and whatnot, I'm kind of moving on to my new chapter of my life. Later this year, I definitely plan to move out, and I'm probably either gonna be based in either Austin, Texas, or potentially, not 100% sure yet, but maybe like Atlanta or Chicago. Those are my two ideas, or three.
For sure.
And how is
Damn,
I've never been to Pennsylvania. I know you're in
dude.
Hawaii, but
Yeah. Oh,
is
but dude, PA,
Pennsylvania,
man,
is that an
goated
interesting
place.
state?
No,
Um,
I mean,
I would say that here's my best like approximation of what Pennsylvania is like. It's whatever you want the temperature to be. It's not. That's the first thing that's just awful about it.
Yeah.
like I know it's
That
like 60 degrees or something today. I checked the weather.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. But I think PA like has the potential to be almost cool, but like it's not, and that's just kind of it. Like we're like the I don't want to say the most boring state of all time, but like we're next to Ohio. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say.
Dude.
Yeah,
No, we don't. We
that's
don't.
all.
I
That's all you
mean,
need to say.
PA is pretty cool because you have both Philly and Pittsburgh, but then in the middle, it's like really like it's like the land is pretty, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, um,
Yeah.
but like, the people, bro. Fuck, some of the people kind of suck, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I actually had a pretty awful experience with a guy in PA. Like I live in a very I'm just gonna flat out say it. There's a lot of terrible people in my area where I live. But it's quiet and I like that. Like I don't have to engage with people, but like when I do, they're awful people. So this dude was wearing a Confederate flag shirt just out in
Wild.
public, thinking he's cool or something like that. I don't know, man. And I'm wearing a Fuecoco, the Fire Croc Pokemon, the new one. I'm wearing a Fuecoco shirt. That dude looks at my shirt and gives me like a "Are you serious right now?" Like he's like looking at me, judging me, and I'm like,
Bro,
"You," I'm like, "You're
speed.
trolling, right, bro? You're trolling.
Wild.
Look at your
Dude,
shirt
kinda
first."
like,
common PA experience, bro.
like, dude, this might be a hot take, but honestly, I like the area that like me and Gunnar are from. Like, I think the area that me and Gunnar are from is like, at least in my opinion, I think it's just like perfect because it's like not too crazy. Like, there's not too many
No, yeah,
fucking
for
crazy
sure.
people. It's not like I'd say it's relatively a pretty safe area for the most part. Like, you know, and it has like a lot of like shops and stuff that like for me at least, I'm like a huge like collector. I love Funko Pops and shit like that. And so
Yes, sir.
like literally if I can just go down to the mall, I can go to my Hot Topic, I can go all that. Like I don't know, for me personally, that's just cuz that's my like main hobby. Like I think it's perfect. So I really like the area that I live in, Pennsylvania. I think it's really nice. But like I understand where a lot of people come from where they don't really like Pennsylvania. And plus like dude, we have Hershey Park. Like Hershey Park,
No.
Hershey Park is
Let's
goated, dude.
go.
Like
Yeah.
that's the one thing I'll say. So I really like Pennsylvania. I might be a little bit biased, but like I mean I wouldn't be against moving out of here too. So but yeah, I think it's pretty nice.
Mhm.
Any
Definitely.
and sorry to be a party pooper, but I do have to get going in about 5 minutes.
All
But
good.
any like last I guess questions or anything? I mean, like
Yeah.
throw it my way. Let me know.
Does anyone in chat have any questions? I
Oh,
know
facts. I was
I know
thinking
we
about
said
that.
about that
yes,
earlier,
yes.
but
The only question I see is Joe Biden or Garfield, but I think we all know it's Garfield, man. I don't
it's
know, man.
Garfield.
Garfield.
Last time I checked, Joe Biden doesn't like lasagna, you know. So
Dang, that's crazy, bro.
He likes ice cream, but
yeah, he likes ice cream.
yeah, Garfield definitely takes that dub. I guess my only big question, just kind of like leave people off with a little bit of ooh, is what should everybody be most excited for you coming from you the next couple weeks and or months?
The next few weeks, the Gear 5 hoodie that's coming very
Oh,
soon.
I'm so excited for
Yes,
that.
sir.
And as well as the Frankie crew neck. I'm gonna drop both of them, and I haven't. This is information I'm not like releasing yet, but I'm gonna be doing like pre-orders, and they're definitely gonna be coming within 2 weeks from now.
Dang.
Awesome.
In 2 weeks.
Oh, we did get one quick question. Just someone in chat asked what your least favorite print was that you
Ooh.
sold.
Oh, I have this this hoodie, right? A long time ago I released it, and it's not bad, but it's just like so simple that I just don't really like it. And it's a Robin's Devil Fruit. There's like this hoodie I released, and it was just like her devil fruit, and it's like a flower, and like it's not bad, but it's like out of all my designs, I feel like that's probably my least like favorite, or the one that I just don't really sort of have like a lot of attachment to. It's just like it's just like a flower essentially. Like you can look up Robin's devil fruit, and that's essentially what it looked like.
Damn.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Breaks my heart because Robin is my favorite,
Nah.
but understandable. I
Yeah.
understand.
Or if I had to think of another one, this was one of my first few embroidery designs. It was a Demon Slayer mask, and it's not bad, but it just felt sort of too simple for me personally. And it's just like a picture, or I think it was a design with kanji of Tanjiro's mask.
Oh,
And
is
this
that
was,
the
like,
is that the
it-
one that has the mask with like the lettering behind it?
Yeah. the
Oh, dude,
mask
I
with the
literally
lettering.
wore that shirt yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like,
It's
I was
just-
like looking.
I like it. It's just so, like, I don't know. I feel like I love things with color. Like more color, the better, in my opinion.
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if you know these guys at all. They're another anime clothing brand, but they're called Some Slight. And they
I've
do a
heard-
lot
yeah,
of
I believe I follow them. Some slight, yeah.
yeah, they have a lot of shorts, and so like that's my go-to. I wear that shirt, and I have like shorts of like Tanjiro's like water cloak, like the cloak that he wears during the exam when he wears that mask, and it's like one of my go-to outfits.
Dude,
Nice.
that is such a sick fucking outfit. Oh, there's another question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years at the company?
Honestly, it's hard to say. Like in the last few years, I've just really been focusing on like what is the next few months gonna look like, rather than like many years. If I had to take a guess, I think I may still be doing like the work. I don't know. Honestly, like 5 years is a long time. Like I've only been doing Minimaru for like 2.5 right now, and it's like 5 years from now is like it's sort of hard to think about. I would imagine I'm still releasing some designs every so often, maybe not as frequently as I am right now, but I think I'll still be doing some designs, and I'd love 5 years from now to work with more of a variety rather than just like the animes I've already done, like One Piece and JoJo's. I'd love to branch out, maybe do some Vinland in the future or something. Who knows?
Oh yes, oh yes. Oh, I love Vinland Saga. That's actually kind of answers like what one of my last questions was gonna be was, is there anything you're watching right now that you'd like to work on? So that's cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Vinland in the future eventually. I just I want to finish the manga. I've read the first, I think, 20, 30 chapters.
Mm.
And I'm just like, because the thing is, every time I go to my local Barnes and Noble, they never have the physical copies. So I've just been reading it on my browser, and I'm just like, this would be so much better if I could read it in person. I want to own physical copies. I'm about to just like go on Amazon at this point.
A huge pointer. Go to it's spelled exactly the way you'd think. WriteStuffAnime.com. It's like Vinland Saga manga books are normally like 22 a pop, but on Right Stuff they're like 17 all the time. Like not even just on sale.
I'll keep that in mind. Alrighty. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I guess we'll wrap it up.
Oh, yeah, it was nice having you, dude. It was awesome getting to talk to you, get to know you.
I really appreciate you hopping on here, dude.
Yeah, this was a sick conversation.
Also,
bro.
I'm gonna openly invite you if you would ever like to. This is like our main podcast, but we also have one where we literally just talk about One Piece. If you'd ever want to hop on there and talk on there too, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. Yeah, maybe in like a few months or so, I'll let you know.
Dude,
just gotta, for sure, right now, I've just been so busy with making new designs and things and working on videos. But yeah, stay tuned for some new stuff coming soon. I'll let you know for sure. In the future, we can make it happen again. Do another podcast, why not?
That sounds
awesome.
Good to me.
Word.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys around.
I will see you around. Thank you again,
me.
man.
Bye.
Later.
All right, guys.
Damn, bro.
So that's probably gonna wrap up today's episode. Honestly, guys, if you haven't like gotten stuff from Minimaru before, I definitely highly recommend it. I would say his merch is pretty affordable. It's and it's very high quality. Like you're paying for pretty much what you get. So like, I would definitely recommend like copping some of his shit because it is dope. I can testify. Liam can definitely testify. But like, yeah, no, dude, you guys should definitely check it out. It's been pretty fun today, guys. I had a lot of fun, to be honest.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to get.
Cool.
Yeah, it was nice getting to put like a voice and all that to the guy behind it. It was cool to get to know him. He seems like a really chill dude, and I'd like to talk to him again about all this. And it's very rare that like talking to him, you can kind of tell like, hey, this guy like cares about what he does. Like he has like he's not just doing a clothing company. Like he's not just making merchandise. Like this is like his heart that he's like putting out and selling. It's really, really cool to see.
I really like
No,
it.
definitely. And like when you just scroll on his website, bro, like you can tell like it's like a passion. This is passion. He's passionate about this.
I really respect it. But yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, anyone who drops a Gear 5 hoodie, that's a W in my book, man. Been waiting for some Gear 5 merch. Been hankering for it.
Too true, dude. But yeah, with all that being said, I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to add before we wrap this up.
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
Alright, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. You can check out Minimaru's stuff down below, as well as Liam and Gunnar stuff. This isn't for, like, this isn't really for, like, a YouTube video, but, like, I might be live again, like, sometime later tonight. But, like I said, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you stopping by and listening. I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.